Oh, hey there. Hope you guys had a really great Christmas. And maybe I hope you guys are maybe having a few Christmas dinner leftovers, maybe. That's almost as good as the real dinner sometimes. Hope you all had some really good times with your friends and family. I know we did. So we've had lots of comments about Mr. Dusty Roop, aka the cameraman, or should I say, the filmer. I know he don't have it written on his hat or nothing, but maybe he will next year. Maybe he will next year. I've heard some people comment that maybe I should give Dusty a raise. Others said I should probably dock his pay for talking so much trash. I think I'm gonna start docking him pay for every one of these little negative Nancy diary vlog things that he's doing. I think I'm gonna dock him some pay. And by the way, you know, we have a few episodes left, and I think he may be owing me money by the time this is over with. I think he probably will. Oh man, no, it's all in good fun. If you, like I've said before, Dusty is a master of sarcasm, so don't get mad at him. Don't think he's throwing me under the bus. It's good. I love it. It's funny because I didn't watch any of his little vlog diaries when we were out there until we bid each other farewell, and he went home and I came home, and I started kind of going through some of the highlights of the film, and I'm like, I wonder what he was saying, you know. And he said, I'm gonna say some funny stuff and hope people like it. And he's like, maybe it'll be dumb, you may not even use it, but man, as soon as I watch those things, I laugh my head off, and they're hilarious. Every time I watch it still, it's just like I laugh my head off. It's good stuff. It's pure gold. So thank you, Dusty. Thank you for keeping us entertained, because I know it's kind of dry when I'm just hunting by myself, and I don't know, maybe him and I could have had a little more interaction back and forth, but it seems like we were kind of caught up in the moment a lot, just trying to grind it out and find a bowl. So so we didn't have a lot of, you know, back and forth banter there. Sometimes in the truck we would, and then we're like, dang it, we should have had the camera on, because it was pretty good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Dusty coming back next year and following me around, trying to help me film me maybe getting an elk. I don't know. We'll see. I might be lucky enough to get one next year, I hope. Anyway, lots of comments about the wolves in Idaho, and you know, and I just, you know, I don't like to try to push my opinions on people too much, you know, because, you know, I'm just a normal person. I'm nobody special, but, you know, doggone it, I think a lot of people just don't know about what's happened here in North Idaho, North Central Idaho, and some of the other places. You know, there's some really big wolf hot spots across the west, you know, some of that northwestern Montana, and some of the western part of Wyoming. It's just hammered with those stupid wolves. And they eat a lot of elk. They have eaten a lot of elk. They've decimated a lot of the North Idaho's backcountry elk. I can speak from experience and what I've seen from before and now. And also the ones they don't eat, they misplace, you know, or they move them out. Like right now, like around my house, I'm about 10 miles out of town, but there's probably more elk around the outskirts of town than there ever was back in the 90s and the 80s. You'll see 100 elk in October between my house and town. So, you know, there's definitely a good number of elk closer to town, it seems like. But the further you get to the backcountry, the fewer elk you see, and it's just sad. It's a crying shame that these wolf advocates will prefer one species over an abundant one species over, you know, a multitude of species, you know. And that's just when the ecosystem has gotten out of balance, you know. It's an ecological disaster, honestly, which is sad. You know, everything has a place in this beautiful place we call Earth. Those Canadian gray wolves, yeah, there are places up there above, across the border, where there's more food sources and stuff. They come down here with their more aggressive hunting tactics and ability to roam and hunt. You know, the original wolves we had here in Idaho just didn't have those kind of hunting tactics, just because the prey base didn't allow for it. But now that these new wolves, you know, and you know, you have people who argue that these things are DNA the same, genetically the same if you look at their DNA, but if you know, you look at a wolfhound and a schnauzer, they're both canines, they're both dogs, but they're both bred for a completely different purpose. And we see that with wolves too. You know, the ones north of the border, they're an apex killing machine, and they're kind of out of place down here in the States, in the lower 48. So, and it makes me kind of feel a little bad for like all the non-resident guys that come to Idaho, you know, seeking bugling bulls and adventure, and a lot of times they just find a quiet forest and they're just not able to capitalize because the elk are kind of spread out so far, and they're few and far between. It makes the hunt really difficult for them. So I think the only reason, you know, one of the main reasons why I'm pretty successful here in this wolf country is I've been hunting for a long time. I've been hunting these places for years, and I've kind of learned to adapt to hunting around wolves. But a lot of guys just don't have that amount of time to find out where all these little honey holes are for these elk, and you know, and know the spots that elk will be more prone to be in. So, you know, it's kind of tough. You know, they invest all this time, energy, and money to come out of state somewhere to hunt and have a good experience. And you know, don't get me wrong, I mean, hanging out in the backcountry and hiking around is awesome and super fun, but everybody wants to take home some elk meat. You know, you want to notch a tag. So, but anyway, appreciate everyone's positive comments. Look forward to tomorrow's episode. It's gonna be a good one. There's a lot of action, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.